WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Cash Matlock. Governor Tate Reeves issues a state of emergency to help protect public health. A press release earlier today states that the declaration was issued to further ramp up Mississippi's coordinated response across all levels of government and provide health officials and administrators with the necessary tools and guidance to combat the spread of COVID-19. Reeves says, quote, "This is our latest step to respond to COVID-19, and it will not be our last. We will continue coordinating our response efforts and prioritizing the health and well-being for all who call Mississippi home," end quote. The governor addressed the state through a video shared on social media. Reeves continues by stating, quote, "I urge all Mississippians to use caution. This is not a time to panic. We are acting calmly and steadily. In this state, we were prepared. We have a pandemic plan that is being followed to the letter. We have tremendous experts who are operating in a way that will protect the public health and save lives. We're listening to those experts and following their lead every step of the way," end quote. In regards to attending church and working from home, the governor had this to say.
We have asked for each of our citizens to do things that may be hard. Stay away from large gatherings. That means sports and even church tomorrow. I'm asking churches not to hold large in-person services in the morning. You can worship from home. Work from home if you can. You have heard the term social distancing. That is one of the most important things that you can do. That's what my family and I are doing. I'll be voluntarily working from home for 14 days out of an abundance of caution and care for others around us.
To watch the governor's full address, head over to our website at WCBI.com. The Columbus School District is closed this coming week, but the closure leaves many students struggling to find a meal. As a result, the district has decided to keep the cafeterias open. Superintendent Sherry Labatt said, Dr. Sherry Labatt, that is, had this to say.
We made a detailed and definitive decision to have it at every campus in the district. It will include our 5 elementary schools, our Success Academy, which is Union Academy, Columbus Middle School, and Columbus High School. We will have a combination of grab and go and sit down meals. We will have the social distance procedure and hygiene procedures in effect. It's significant because our 100% of our students are free and reduced lunch. And so when they're not in school, they're not receiving 2 meals a day, Monday through Friday.
So far, Columbus is the only school district that we know of that's keeping their cafeterias open. We're going to update that list as new information becomes available. In Lowndes County, students are only getting an extra couple of days off. Superintendent Sam Allison says classes are canceling school for the week while out on spring break. Allison says some students traveled out of the country and to states where cases have been reported. District leaders will spend the next few days gathering information, discussing ways to keep everyone safe and clear from potential sickness. Once again, they are out for the next week. Several other school districts in the viewing area will be closed all of next week. Those schools include Starkville-Oktibbeha School District, Amory Schools, Starkville Academy, Pontotoc Schools, Lee County Schools, Houston Schools, Oxford School District, Tishomingo County School District, and Heritage Academy, Noxubee County. Again, these are some of the schools that will be closed all of next week. And some schools in the area will be closed on Monday and Tuesday only of next week. Those schools include Oak Hill Academy, Annunciation Catholic School, Columbus Christian School, and Victory Christian Academy. For a complete list of schools and their plans for coronavirus, visit our website at WCBI.com.
Weather-wise, today as we started the weekend, very mild. Temperatures topping out in the mid-70s. We were promising you mid to upper 70s. That's indeed what we had. The average right now is 65, so about 10 degrees above it. It was a pretty nice afternoon. Now, it was a gloomy start and a bit on the cool side. This is our Durham's Pharmacy camera, our Alpha Insurance camera network, and as we went throughout the course of the afternoon, A little bit more sunshine, allowing things to warm back up. And if you're heading out this evening, we still have a lot of 70s out there. Overcast conditions for the most part. Not really a lot of rain on radar at this moment. There are a few showers near New Albany across northern reaches, also here to our southwest. And we will expect to see a better chance for some showers and maybe even a few thunder showers later on this evening and tonight. We're going to go down into the 50s in many spots, although we may see some 40s across northern reaches of the area. Tomorrow, your Sunday, more clouds. Temperatures probably topping out in the 60s, and there will be some rain around. We'll have your full forecast coming up.
All right, thanks, Keith. Well, there are now more than 2,400 confirmed cases of coronavirus in the U.S. in every state except West Virginia. In addition, 52 people have died as a result of the virus. Michael George has more from New Rochelle, New York, New York, where officials have set up a containment zone to stop the spread of the virus.
Thank you very much.
New policies are being implemented at the White House in response to the coronavirus pandemic.
I had my temperature taken coming into the room.
So did we.
You did good.
Everybody coming near the president or vice president is getting their temperature checked. The president says he was tested for coronavirus after coming in contact with at least 3 people who have tested positive.
People were asking, did I take the test? I don't know, whatever it takes, a day or 2 days, whatever it is. They send it to a lab.
The House passed a bill early Saturday morning which will make testing free for Americans. It now goes before the Senate for approval.
Leader McConnell and our friends on the Republican side should pass the bill as is.
The Trump administration says it will boost the number of test kits available to the public to 1.4 million over the next week. Drive-through testing locations have been set up in numerous locations across the country, including here in New Rochelle, which has been the epicenter of the outbreak here in New York.
The main way to slow the spread, we know from all the other countries, is to do the testing, isolate the positives.
Health officials are warning the worst is yet to come.
We have not reached our peak.
The Trump administration has also announced it's extending its European travel ban to include the UK and Ireland. And Vice President Pence wouldn't rule out the possibility of a travel ban within the U.S.
We're considering a broad range of measures, but no decisions have been made yet.
Meanwhile, schools and businesses continue to shut their doors as Americans practice social distancing. Apple announced all of its stores outside of China will be closed for 2 weeks. Michael George, CBS News, New Rochelle, New York.
A senior official at the Department of Homeland Security tells CBS News that a domestic travel ban is not in the works at this time. Travelers continue to use the Golden Triangle Regional Airport, and we've got a few more important closings to tell you about. All that and more after the break. Stay with us.
Watching WCBI News at 6 p.m. with Cash Matlock.
Welcome back, everyone. So far, there are no cases of the coronavirus in the Golden Triangle, but Columbus is feeling its effects. Visit Columbus cancels the 2020 Columbus, Mississippi Spring Pilgrimage. The Columbus Lowndes Convention and Visitors Bureau called the move necessary, citing concerns about the spread of the virus. Any events scheduled during the 2 weeks of pilgrimage, including what would have been the 30th installment of, quote, Tales from the Crypt, are also canceled. Pilgrimage was scheduled to run from March 26th through April 4th. Passengers continue to travel through the Golden Triangle Regional Airport. The Delta flights arrive 3 times each day at GTR. There are also morning, afternoon, and early evening departures. The staff at the airport is monitoring the CDC for updates and continuing to do their own jobs, which includes sanitizing public areas.
The safety of our passengers and our employees is our top priority. We've increased the frequency of cleaning, the disinfecting, and we've added 20 different hand sanitizers that people can reach from anywhere in the airport. And we're keeping on top of the latest activities. The biggest thing is we're following the CDC guidelines.
All travelers are asked to monitor their health and practice good hygiene, including covering the face and mouth if coughing or sneezing, and frequent hand washing. A few more important closings of note. All Columbus Recreation Department practices, games, and activities have been suspended until April 1st. Director Greg Lewis says the department is exercising caution. All senior adult activities have also been suspended. Lewis says private events already booked at the community centers will continue as scheduled. Also, Starkville Park's programs are canceled until the 22nd. This includes all youth baseball and adult basketball practices, as well as senior programs that meet in the activities room, like line dancing.
As we look ahead in general for the next week or so, fairly unsettled temperatures, a little bit on a roller coaster ride. On again, off again rain chances, perhaps a few storms. No widespread severe weather expected over the next couple of days here, but we'll keep watching it. Your full forecast is coming up next.
Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
6:14 on our Saturday evening. Great weather today as expected. Not really a lot of moisture, but rain chances are back in the forecast going over the next 7 days. Later tonight into our Sunday, an elevated chance for some showers. And then as we get into the work week, not every day will feature higher rain opportunities, but there will be some rain and storms around. If anything, we may inch it back up again by Friday. So suffice to say, more of a March-like weather pattern here, warmer temperatures and daily opportunities for some rain. Here's the big picture. Our satellite radar, you can see the clouds trying to fill back into the region. We saw a little bit of sun today. There are some heavier showers and even some storms back here in the Arkansas, West Tennessee, another batch down in Louisiana. That will tend to fill in later on tonight. All of that is riding along this frontal boundary. We are in the 70s here. Memphis, only 50. This front's been bobbing back and forth all week long, and it's going to do so for the next couple of days, too. In general, we will be on the milder side of this. We won't really tap into that really cold air, but this front will slide back through the area later tonight into tomorrow. So we will see some of these showers and maybe even a few embedded thunder showers during the evening and overnight hours. But no strong or severe weather expected here as we go throughout the near term. And that's certainly good news considering we are in the month of March and things can be very active this time of year. So our Alpha Insurance camera in Louisville went poof. It's gone. Where is it? Do not know, but we will try and see where it did go. Louisville, you're still there, by the way. But for tonight here, we have some low-end chances for rain in the near term. Temperatures will be gradually cooling. Rain chances go up just a little bit here. So you may hear some rain, maybe hear a rumble of thunder, see a flash of lightning, but overall more showers than anything else. You can see hour by hour, some 40s to the north, 50s and 60s to the south this evening. The frontal boundary will inch slowly back to the south, and we will gradually cool things down, and the rain chances will continue as we go throughout the course of the night. So for your Saturday night, 65 degrees in the south, much cooler, or that's for tomorrow rather. Getting all my days mixed up here on a Saturday. The sky cam's gone, temperatures, who knows what's going on. Anyway, for your Sunday, we've got a mix of 50s and 60s north, a little bit warmer in the south because that frontal boundary is coming on in, stalling out again. So much like yesterday, we'll have some cooler air and some showers around. Now, looking ahead at next week, notice how we'll still have some rain and storm chances here into our Monday and for our Tuesday and probably into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as well. That frontal boundary we were talking about still hanging around here. So no big changes going for the next 7 days. Temperatures will be gradually kicking back up. We're looking at 60s tomorrow, back to around 70 on Monday, 74 Tuesday, and then pushing 80 by Thursday and Friday before we cool back down on Saturday. So there are some signs that we may see a few stronger storms cash next Friday as things come together, but that's a long ways off, not clear cut, but just pretty unsettled here for the next 7 days.
Keith, that is the gloomiest 7 day I've ever seen.
I know, it just like gloom and doom, but It won't be an all-day washout on any of those days, but there will be some rain around.
Right, what a way to just cap off this week, all right?
Hey, there you go, sorry.
All right, well, thank you for that. Clouds, though they seem simple, scientists believe they are actually much more complex. We're going to have more on that story when we come back. Welcome back, everyone. They cover, on average, 2/3 of the Earth's surface, but scientists still understand precious little about clouds. Most climatologists believe they hold the key to unlocking the mysteries of climate change. Recently, an unprecedented study was launched to explore them, and it all took place as far east as you can go in the Caribbean islands, the most ideal place to do it, and we have an up-close look.
It's the dead of night on the Caribbean island of Barbados. But for the crew of NOAA's Orion P3 aircraft,
Let's start the engines and get on go.
The day is just getting started.
All right, I do have MMR up.
This hurricane hunter usually flies into monster storms to learn how they grow.
Let's go ahead and turn and start climbing.
On this night, we watched as the team dropped remote sensors, almost 60 of them, over 8 hours.
I'm going to be hearing that sound in my sleep.
To gather scientific data about a subject that only becomes visible with the rising sun.
So where we want to be is just below cloud base.
It looks like there's some cells lining up.
The white, puffy cumulus clouds this tropical region is famous for may be the crucial missing puzzle piece for anyone trying to predict the rate of climate change.
If we don't understand clouds, can we ever be accurate in climate modeling?
No, you can't, because they're a huge part of the climate system.
Evacuating coming out.
Chris Farrell is NOAA's lead investigator for an unprecedented 6-week-long field science exercise called Atomic.
This is like the biggest large-scale open-air cloud laboratory on the Atlantic.
You're as far east as you're going to get here, which is why Barbados is the spot to do this.
That's right, a sweet spot for doing this kind of work.
You're flooding the atmosphere with just about everything I can think of. I mean, it's drones.
2, 1.
We brought out, a fleet of ships and aircraft and balloons and everything we could think of.
That's the idea, is just to try to get as many different data points.
Right.
Clouds may live in the air, but they're created by conditions far below, on and beneath the surface of the ocean. So to fully understand them, you need a ship.
How you doing?
Hi, Jeff. I'm Jeff.
Nice to meet
you. NOAA has one, the Ron Brown, a state-of-the-art floating science platform.
This is a heavily instrumented surfboard.
Dr. Elizabeth Thompson runs the science program on board.
It's a surfboard that's taking these incredibly complicated measurements.
I don't think a human would enjoy surfing on it, but the instruments do a really fine job. The issue with tropical clouds is they're really shallow, so it's really difficult for our satellites to get all of the properties of those small little clouds right.
Instead of relying on satellites, Thompson and her team unleashed dozens of remote vehicles across hundreds of square miles of ocean for 6 full weeks.
Most of the heat in the global climate system is at the equator, where the sun beats down, is the most strong on the ocean surface, and all that heat has to get dissipated somewhere. Clouds are like air conditioning systems. Clouds are trying to redistribute energy. The global models that are tasked with predicting sea level rise in Florida, how hurricane strength will change in 100 years, all of that is kind of determined on how well we can predict weather in the tropics.
The tropics affects everything else.
Yeah, the rate at which the Earth warms is really dependent on how these clouds work, and that's why we're here. My team has instruments for measuring temperature, humidity, wind.
But Thompson is not alone here. The project is multinational, involving British, French, and German scientists.
So it's our most sophisticated instrument.
Including Bjorn Stevens, who's been studying clouds from the Barbados Cloud Observatory for more than a decade.
These sort of clouds are very interesting because they regulate Earth's energy budget quite a lot. So if you change these type of clouds a little bit, it influences the climate. And so as the climate warms, the real question is what happens to these sorts of clouds. Because if you fill it too full, it bursts too soon, right?
Yeah.
And if you fill it
Stevens hopes the data collected here will help climate scientists narrow down the wide range of predictions about how much the planet will warm and how fast.
Okay, I'll go launch it now, huh?
Okay.
Yeah.
Some have forecast a worst-case scenario where these clouds and the protection from sunlight they provide disappear completely as we pump more CO2 into the atmosphere.
And that'll lead to more sunlight at the surface, which will enhance or increase the pace of warming. But the models treat these things pretty crudely. We're here to see if we can figure out what's right.
Oh, here we go. I think we're already in the cloud layer.
You see clouds every day and you don't think at what a massive role they play.
Yeah, that's right. I'm like a guy that builds radars and flies on airplanes and tries to understand one cloud at a time. I'm just like one of the guys out there pushing my little rock up the hill.
You get giddy when you're talking about clouds.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Cloud around here.
All of it means Barbados, typically known as a destination for sun seekers,
1, 2, 3.
is quickly gaining fame as a place for cloud hunters too.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Keith is going to have that final look at weather. Stay with us. You're watching WCBI News at 6. All right, Keith, if your Saturday includes movie night on the couch, skip the popcorn and instead grab a bag of chips, because today is National Potato Chip Day. And with the hundreds of flavors to choose from, you probably can't pick just one favorite. Thin, crispy slices of potato aren't just popular in America. Across the globe, chip revenues top $15 billion every year. To celebrate, try a new variety, or better yet, you can bake some of your own. I think I'm going to skip that part, Keith. But
that's a little too hard.
I was just telling you my favorite. I love anything spicy, anything salt and vinegar, anything with flavor. What about you?
And yeah, I'll take a salt and vinegar chip. And like you mentioned earlier, after this week, you just want to sit home and eat like a whole case of potato chips and
perfect thing to do during a quarantine.
But there you go. But potato chips good on a unsettled weather pattern type situation. We have some more rain coming our way later this week, so you may be stuck home and you may be eating your chips.
All right. Thank you, Keith. Well, thank you guys for watching us. We'll see you back here tomorrow.